And on that note, so everything that will be said here will be uploaded later on YouTube, which is where the bulk of our members are actually waiting for this video to be uploaded. We've been getting requests. The MacBain Scholarship, that we have been getting a lot of requests from them through email, WhatsApp, and our LinkedIn, and that's how we reach out to the both of you. And we hope that by listening to this session, that most of them will get all they need to submit beautiful applications. Thank you for being part of this process. Thank you for admin to lead this process. So I don't know if you have other introduction, like to introduce yourself to the very few people present. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Farida Zakaria, and I recently won the McCall MacBain Scholarship. I studied pharmaceutical sciences at McGill University, and I finished as the best student in my class here. And aside that, I just finished my internship at McGill University Teaching Hospital. So basically what I'm passionate about and what I like doing is advocating for gender equity, women empowerment, community development, and anything that has to do with health promotion in Nigeria. So I'm part of a lot of groups that are working towards these things within Nigeria. And when I'm not reading or working, I like to just watch movies and read novels. So that's basically Farida.
Thank you for that brief introduction. Thank you very much. So right to it. The sessions is organized in a way that is divided between you and Rachel, but pending when she joins us due to the issue, whatever she's having. Let me quickly move to the first part. So we'll be covering 6 major sessions: the eligibility, the selection criteria, the application for the scholarship, then the application to get admission to the McGill University, and then the interview stage, and just some FAQs. So the first part is the eligibility. Can you please explain it? Though it seems very brief on the website, like very, very brief and clear, but probably you might want to especially touch on the language requirement. Do they accept WAEC, or is there some kind of different requirement that we are not aware of?
No, the McCall MacBain Scholarship, they don't really bother about the language test. The problem is with McGill University, because after applying for the scholarship, you also apply to the university. So if the university, for those that schooled in Nigeria, like my department, they accepted a letter from my school that I was taught in English language. So I didn't need to do any English proficiency test or anything like that. So as long as your school is willing to give you that letter that states that you were taught in English, then that is okay. But I doubt if because you'll be applying for a master's degree, so they do not take WAEC for that. But if you can get a letter from your school, then that should be enough.
Wow, that's a lot. So are there any other part of the eligibility that you might want to touch on? Because it occurred to me from the website when I was going through that today that it's not just for master's students, it also applies to, I believe, undergraduate students that are going for a professional second degree or something. This might be some very interesting news to members of our community that's undergraduate. So what do you have to say about
that? The scholarship, aside the master's degree, there are some professional courses that you can go for, like law, dentistry, and MBBS. But for those one, I think there's a strict rule about it being for only Canadian. Since I'm in the sciences, I can only talk about the MBBS because I looked at that. For that one, you need to have you need to be able to speak French. You need to have, you can speak English, of course, but you need to be able to speak French because Montreal is a French-speaking region in Canada, so you have to be able to speak French. So you'll be required to show a proof, like TCF test, TF test, that you've passed and you can speak French properly. And aside that, it is for Canadian because there are some criteria that as a Nigerian you cannot fulfill. So for us coming from Nigeria, so it's just the master's degree for now. And for those that are interested in going for nursing, as long as you have a science background, if you studied biology, chemistry, physics, or anything related to the sciences, you can go for a nursing degree. What the MSCA in nursing has is that it is 3 years instead of the normal master's that is 2 years. The nursing program is 3 years. You have a 1-year preparatory course that you do first before you now proceed to doing the nursing. So for now, just look at the master's program, not the professional program. But you can do MSc in law, any MSc related to the medicine side, MSc related to dentistry, but the actual BSc dentistry, BSc medicine, and BSc JD law, you can't do that. As a
Wow.
Nigerian, unless you're a Canadian.
Okay. Thank you very much for that explanation. Please, usually, like I said, this if you have any question from the audience, you can just post it there on the chat box. Again, most of this session is for members of our community, and most of them are actually like waiting for us to upload the videos on YouTube. So we just allow just very few access of some people right here on Zoom. And so the point here is that we're already like collected most of their questions that they have for the guests, and so I'll be working with those questions. But if you have some other personal questions, feel free to type it on the chat box. My eyes will be there looking for your questions. So my second question, Farida, is the selection criteria.
Yes.
They were very, 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 should I say, they gave criteria, right? Exceptional character, community engagement, leadership potential, entrepreneurship spirit, and academic strength and intellectual curiosity. Those were clearly stated on their website that these are the qualities that they're looking for from the scholar. So would you just touch a little bit on this criteria?
Okay, it looks as if it is plenty, but it's not really much. The thing they are looking for majorly is somebody that is willing to make impact beyond the impact you're having in your life. You are willing to make impact in the life of people. And then how are you choosing to make this impact? Are you willing to cause barriers, cause boundaries? Are you willing to leave your comfort zone to make sure that your community is well off? And aside the fact that you're trying to help your community, are you a leader? Do you have that ability to mobilize people towards that goal that you think is best for your community? And then there's also the are you curious about things that I won't say normal people, that people are not normally curious about? Are you curious about making changes? Are you curious about beyond your academics? What are you pursuing? That's what they are looking for. So the way they look for this criteria is that it's not just through your CV or through your essays. They'll be reading your essays, and each line in your essay, they'll be seeing if you meet these criteria that they've set. And you also have to submit references. And every word your reference says about you, they'll be looking, is this the kind of person that we are looking for? That's a way you can meet all these criteria.
Wow. So we should look at the criteria collectively and not just
Yes,
singularly.
you need to, because the criteria are listed there for a reason. So when you are writing your essay, you make sure that every single part of it, they can see it in your essay. There is going to be like different portion in the essays. You don't just want to focus on your leadership skills. What about your academic strengths? What about your entrepreneurship spirit? So if you focus on only your leadership skills, you are leaving out a whole lot of portions that you will not be reflected in your essays, and they really need to see all these things too.
Okay. Okay, so head down, pay attention to every single one of the criteria, looking at it holistically, and I'm not just singularly. I guess the next part is the application for the scholarship.
Yes.
Again, they stated it was a kind of a long list. One good thing about the scholarship is that, unlike every other scholarship, it's kind of very clear. The website is just everything you need is there. But the purpose of something like this is so you can have some just very tiny insider information on how to stand out. Okay, if others are doing this, how about you go this way? So at least you can have an edge or something. So for the application process, let's walk through it like one after the other. The first is the personal information. That does not really require much, right? The second part is the activities, work experience, break. And again, it was stated there that the selection criteria now will be evaluated under this section, right? Then the third part, the short essays. How many essays were there, and what were the questions?
I cannot remember the questions. There were 4 essays, but I can tell you like a general idea of what they were about. There's the leadership essay that tries to see what you did when you were in the leadership position. What kind of impact did you make in that position? What were the outcomes you got in that position that you held? And what did you learn out of the whole position that you held? And then there's also the volunteering essay that tries to see, okay, how did you make impact in your community? What was the result of that impact? How many people were involved in the impact that you made? And same thing, what was the outcome? And there's another one that tries to evaluate how your community has influenced you to the choices that you've made today. Like, what was the impact of your community? It can be a place where you grew up. It can be your school. It can be anywhere. How did that community influence you to be who you are today? And there's the last essay. Oh, I can't really remember what it's about. But there are 4 essays: leadership, the community development, the influence of your community on you, and yes, the last one, the course correction. Is there any significant, like, big decision you've made in your life that has led you to where you are today? Let's say, for example, you initially wanted to study agriculture, and then now you are studying medicine, or you wanted to study medicine and now you are in law, or you studied law and now what you want to go for in your MSc is, say, journalism. Is there any major, it doesn't have to be limited to academics, just any big decision you've made in your life that has had an impact on where you are today? So those are the 4 essays you have to write on.
Wow, thank you very much for that explanation. I'm actually very surprised that I still remember it all. Okay, so some members of our community, they are kind of asking me that if you could like show your video, I don't know, turn on your video if you made provisions for something like that, it would be great. You're the main person, they want to see your face, I don't know. They kind of argue that.
I think my video is on. Can you see me?
The essays again, sorry, if I could just add more to it. It's going to be under 250, 300 words, right? Words limit. It's not something like 1,000 or 2,000 words limit.
Of the essays are 250 words, then 2 are 300 words. So you have to be very particular about those words. Most people tend to be very wordy. You even see in the resource, there's a section in the site that is titled resources. They'll specifically tell you, do not be too wordy. Use short sentences, go straight to the point. So you have just 250 words to put all your leadership experience into. Like, you need to make it presentable to somebody. You don't have to write every leadership position you've ever held. You can just choose one that is the most meaningful for you. And I think that's what they asked. Just one leadership community involvement that is most meaningful for you. And then you have to express that in 250, 300 words. So you don't have much space to be exceptionally wordy.
Okay. So still on the application process, the transcript. Again,
Yes.
this leads to a question that somebody just posted on the chat box about what CGPA requirements are they looking for? You are the first class, like so. They're listening about scholarships are always looking out for the first class people in the community and all that. So are they specific about first class, or are they looking out to any CGPA, but something 2.1, 2.2? What do you think?
Thing that was specific that they mentioned on their side is as long as they meet the McGill the McGill University admission criteria, then that's fine. And for McGill University, most of the CGPA they require is 3.2 over 4 or 3.0 over 4. So if you meet that criteria, they're not necessarily looking for a first class, because we've seen some departments in Nigeria that they never graduate first class. So you don't have to have a first class. Just make sure you are good. And when you send them your transcript, what they'll look for is the course you are trying to go for now, do you meet the criteria, not just CGPA wise? The courses you've done, like the courses you took throughout your undergraduate degree, do they meet the course requirement for admission into McGill University? So that's what they look out for. And because if you're still, you should have a strong CGPA, but it doesn't have to be a first class. But then you can balance it up with what you've done in your leadership and community roles. So it's not only for first class students.
Wow, thank you for that. So I think most of us can actually breathe in now. So we can breathe out now with much ease. Okay, thank you. So the resume.
Last
It
thing
is.
sorry.
Yeah, I'm listening. Please go on.
For the transcript, you don't have to get like the official one you don't have to get to university to send it to them. If you
Oh
have like
wow.
a compilation of result that you've collected from your 100 till your final level, as long as you can get your department to stamp it, or if you can get your student copy, then you can use it. And for that transcript also, you don't need to be a graduate yet. So if you are in your final year and you've done like your first semester and you have a semester left, you can get those results from your 100 to the first semester of your 400 level and submit it. They'll still take that. When you are selected, that's when you'll be required to send them like the complete transcript. So you don't have to be a graduate or anything like that. Just be in your final year.
Wow. Thank you. That's very valuable information. Thank you very much for letting that out. Uh, Moving forward, the resume. Now we are
Yes.
aware that resume is one very particular thing they ask you in job applications, in scholarship, and all that thing. But are there any specific things that the McBain Scholarship Body they are looking out for on one's resume? Are there things that they want to see?
Okay. No. But then it must meet the criteria that I sent. One, it must be one page only. The least font size they want to see is 11. You can't go, no, is it 11? I think 10 or 11. You can't go below that. So you can't make it a font 9, font size 9, because you want to squeeze everything in one page. So it must not exceed one page. And you can write anything you want to write. If there's one aspect that you feel you've talked about too much in your essays, and you feel, okay, I don't want to talk about that now in my resume, that's fine. You can focus on your leadership and community activities in your essay, and then you can just touch on them, not really delve into them like that in your resume. You can use your resume to talk about your academic strengths. So it's totally up to you. For me, I just made I divided everything. Everything got like a percentage. Academics was reflected, my leadership roles were reflected, my community activities were reflected in it. For some people, they made it all about their academic activities. For others, it was just their leadership. For some people, they used the criteria that the McCall MacBain has set up to fill in their resume. So they made sure they used their resume to tick off each point of the criteria. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
That's wise. Okay.
You can just you can build your resume like that. And you can, since it's a resume, you can have a summary at the top that just embodies everything that you have. I hope that's
Okay.
clear. So you can
Yeah.
say, okay, I am so and so person. I am passionate about so and so, and this is who I am. Just a summary of who you are before you now go ahead. And there are different samples online on Twitter. You can check samples of one-page resumes. Just make it one page, not less than 10 size font, and you can't have double line space. I don't know, not double line spacing. You can't divide it into two. You get
Yes, exactly.
two column on a page, just one column.
Hmm.
Yes.
This will probably lead to just a side question when people would always say that, oh, scholarship is for specific people. There's some people that they look out for and all that. What is your advice to people like this who tends to like go to that direction that, oh, they're not like worthy of submitting applications for such scholarship? They're looking for some people and they don't meet that criteria and all that. What's your advice to people like this?
Eh, See, My advice for you is just do it, because so many times along the line, I nearly didn't submit the application because I felt, no, I've not done enough to deserve this kind of scholarship. To me, it is a big scholarship to me, and they are going to select just 10 people internationally. So it felt like a very, very small chance. Like, I'm from here. What have I done? What impact have I made? I'm trying to reach out for something this big. But I didn't let that stop me. Every day I'll go on their website and I'll watch videos of recent scholars, and I'll see how all of them keep saying they didn't even expect that they'll get selected. And that was like a push for me. Or just go to their website and watch videos of the scholars, of John McCall MacBain, of the people in the scholarship, and you just see that your fears are there, they are valid. But then if you don't take that step, you will never know the outcome. If you do not try, you will never know whether you're going to get a yes or a no. You keep asking, what if I have done it? Would I have gotten a yes? What if I had tried? Would I have been selected? So if you do not take that step, you will never know. So according to Michelle Obama, failure is a feeling. Like, you start feeling as if you're a failure before that failure even comes. So you don't have to wait for failure to come. Immediately you start feeling as if you're a failure, then it starts setting that pace in your mind that, oh, I cannot do this. And then because of that, you limit the kind of effort that you're supposed to put into the application. So you can do it. It's for everybody. Just try. The worst thing that you can get, the worst response that you can get is a no. And then you try again. And then they tell you no again. And you learn from that no. You know that, okay, you've done it this way, it didn't work out this way. Maybe if I try it this way, it will work out differently. You learn from each mistake, you learn from each failure. Each time you fall down and you stand, you've learned that, okay, I shouldn't take this step this way. Maybe I should try taking my step this way. So that's just it for me. I kept being motivated by the scholars. And that's why I submitted the application. And I'm here today. I got the scholarship.
Yeah, that's a wonderful story. Thank you very much for sharing that story, and for your words of advice. Very kind of you. Someone asked a very interesting question on the chat box. I also saw it on the website. I did not quite understand what they meant when they said for 2021, 2022, 2023 graduates, they have to be endorsed by their university or so before they can submit applications. They can't submit direct application. Did you did you see some clients on their website? And what
Yes, you need to get endorsed by your university. I got endorsed by my university too. What it means is that for universities in Nigeria, we have VCs. So you have to get your VC. And okay, there are 3 schools that are partners with McCall MacBain Scholarship. That's University of Ilorin, University of Lagos, and University of Nigeria, Nsukka. These universities can endorse more than one student. But for students that are not in this university, or they did not finish from this university, your university can only endorse one person. So if you intend to apply for this scholarship and you know you finished in 2021, 2022, or you finish in 2023, it is time to reach out to your school so you can be endorsed. If a university endorses more than one person, only the first person will be considered for the scholarship. The other people will not be considered for the scholarship. You get my point? And what endorsement means is that you will go to the highest person in your university. So for universities in Nigeria, that person is the vice chancellor. You go to the vice chancellor, you get his email address, his official email address, and then you have a place where you can put it in the website. And the scholarship will send the vice chancellor like a form that you can click yes or no. Yes, I want to endorse the students. No, I do not want to endorse them. It's not a letter or something big like that. Just the email, and they'll be sent a link to click yes or no to endorsing you. If your vice chancellor chooses, he can choose to write some words about you being a student that they would love to represent their school, but it is not necessary.
Wow, thank you very much. No, I'm just looking at how it's going to look like from like for example, now I'm a graduate of like University of Nigeria and Nsukka, so I'm just trying to imagine how it would be like going to meet the vice
Finding your
chancellor.
VC.
Exactly. Oh, that's going to be a lot.
I feel it felt impossible too, because I was, and this scholarship, we had it during the ASU strike, so schools were on lockdown. So that was like another hurdle. How do I find the vice chancellor during a strike? How do I even enter the Senate building? But I didn't give up. I looked for him and they were happy to endorse me. So you might feel it's impossible. If you don't ask, your school will not even know something like this is going on. And for something this big, trust me, your school will be very, very happy to endorse you, especially if you're a good student. They'll want you to represent them, because whatever win you get is basically a win for the school too. You're a bragging right to your university. So just go there, ask. Go ask, nothing will happen. The highest you can get, the worst that can come is a no, we will not endorse you. And that's all. And then you can move to other scholarships, or you can keep pushing till you see the vice chancellor. Because I'm very sure once you meet the vice chancellor, the problem comes with meeting the vice chancellor, because you have to go through offices, secretaries to meet him in person. So once you meet the vice chancellor, I'm 100% sure you get that endorsement, because it's not something hard. Just the email, yes or no answer, and that's the end. No letters needed, nothing fancy or anything like that. So you can do it. Just make sure you are the first person from your school to go to your vice chancellor.
That's a
That's
very,
it.
very important factor.
Because if you are the second person, oh, sorry, no. You have to be the first person if you did not finish from University of Ilorin, University of Lagos, and University of Nigeria, Nsukka. If you finish from Ahmadu Bello University, OAU, Ibinidium, you have to be the first person to go to your vice chancellor. So it's a race of, it's even like a race of fastest finger.
Exactly.
You have to go
Fastest finger.
start now, because the application opens next month, June 1st. So probably you
Yeah.
have to start now and start telling your VC, this is what I want to apply for. You can only endorse one person. So if you want it, you should start your journey now. Start reaching out to your school.
Thank you very much. And that's actually the reason why we decided to like hold this webinar this month and not next month, because we just wanted people to be ready ahead of time. Because an information like this one is something you have to start early, especially if your VC is not someone that you can, some VC you just have to go through some extra extra mile before you can get to them. Okay, thank you very much. The
You're
resume.
welcome.
It is stated there that there should be an academic two reference. Sorry, not the resume, the reference. Two reference, one academic, the other one community reference. And then again, for the academic reference, it's not tentative. If you are doing a course like an MBA that doesn't require academic, you can go for like community reference.
Can you please repeat that question?
About the reference, they asked for two reference. I don't know if it was
Yes,
required
it's
from.
two.
Okay, for academic and community reference, and then they were like, okay, for the academic reference, it's tentative. If your course they're applying for at the McGill University is like a course that doesn't require academic reference, probably an MBA or so, that you can go for two community reference.
For my case, I needed one academic reference and a community reference. So if you intend to apply for graduate school, you can use one of the lecturers that you intend to use, so that person can write a reference for you. And there's no strict criteria in the scholarship that says that you have to, like, they need to have official emails. So if there's anybody that you've worked with on a community level, probably you did a voluntary service together, you worked in a leadership position together, somebody that is your superior that has worked with you, that knows you well enough to write something about you, then you can use that person as a community reference. The other person, academic reference, it has to be a lecturer, obviously. And I think for them, they have to use their official email.
Well, thank you. Thank you for stating that fact about the official email. Okay. So, but the just want to know is What do you think makes a preference?
For me, when I was selecting the people that write references for me, I used one lecturer that we are so close. So this is somebody that basically knows everything about my academics. So I knew that person would be writing something very, very strong for me about my academics. For my community reference, I chose somebody that was my superior and somebody that I know is very, very good with words, because he has multiple books that he has written. And that was the person I chose. Okay, if you can write a book, then you must be very, very good with your words. That means you can write something very, very compelling for me. That was just it for me. I
That
needed
was a wise decision.
something powerful, and I knew you could give me something powerful. If you have somebody that knows you well enough and you know probably that person is not so good with words, I think you might need to look for somebody else. Because it's all about the way you put your words. You might have done so much, but if you do not word it properly, they will not know you've done that much. It's all about your words. That's the only thing they get to read before they even call you for the interview. So if you do not do so, if you do not write something that is compelling enough to want to see you, then there's a problem. So choose your references wisely. And you can't use your friends.
Or your
That's
family
one.
members. So
So
stated there clearly.
be like, it will be very biased. You can't use your friends, you can't use your family. You have to look for somebody else that has worked with you on a personal level.
And the content of the reference.
They have certain words. Let me see if I can. It's on the website. You have access to the references they want you to provide for them. They'll just be asking questions. Okay, yeah, I found it. But it's on the website, so you can go to their website to check the reference. So you can give your referees in advance for them to start preparing. For the community reference, they'll like to know how long you've known the person and in what capacity, just 50 words. Then they'll be asking the person to scale you on certain things like your honesty, your integrity, your empathy, and others. And then they'll want the person to provide assessment on how you've worked with your community and the ratings they gave you in the options above, which one has the highest rating and what can they say about it. And then they'll also ask what aspect in your life are you lacking? The person should comment on that. So that's it. For the academic reference, the question is also different, slightly different. We're asking how long the person has known you, to scale you on some things, the things you are very good at, the person should give examples. That's why I say you need somebody that really knows you, because they'll be asking for specific examples. The person needs to not just say this person is a good person, he's intelligent, he's smart, no. You need to give a clear example of how that person has demonstrated smartness, how that person has demonstrated leadership. So you have to use somebody that really knows you well.
Wow. Thank you for saying that. Okay. So okay, we'll have to like move into application for admission. Now I'm aware that in some scholarship, once you're applying for the scholarship, you're like automatically applying for admission because there's no way you get one without the other and all that. But in this case, you're also asked to like go on and submit like your application for admission into the McGill University. So how was the application process the same? If not, how was it like?
No, it wasn't the same. For the scholarship, you have to apply in between June to August. For the school application, it starts September, for some courses, September to December, for others, September to January 15th. But for international students, the last day to apply is January 15th. Beyond that, you can apply again. For if you intend to go for a thesis program, most of them will require that you have a supervisor, and the scholarship cannot look for a supervisor for you. So you have to go to the departmental website and actually search for people that are doing research in the area you're interested in. And that person needs to accept you into their lab before you can even make an application. And after making an application, you have to pay application fee of 129 point something Canadian dollars. It is not waivable. They will not waive it for you. So you have to pay 129, approximately 130 Canadian dollars for the school. And it is independent. McCall MacBain Scholarship will also not pay it for you, pay it by itself. But the most limiting factor for the admission is the supervisor. It can be very tough to get a supervisor. So you have to start in advance. You need to look for somebody that is working in an area that you're working in, and that person must be willing to accept you into their lab. So even if you submit an application to McGill University and you do not have a supervisor, you might not get admitted. And if you do get admitted, which is very rare, you'll be given like a short period of time to find a supervisor. You need a supervisor to accept you before you can apply to the university.
Wow. That's very deep. You made mention of the application fee, which is very usual for most schools in US and Canada. You said around $130. That's a lot.
Canadian dollars. It's a
Canadian
bit
dollar.
cheap. Yes, it's a bit cheaper than dollars. But
Okay.
you can't
And
get
when
a
you were
waiver.
okay, and when you were like applying for this stuff, were you already certain that you were going to get the McBain scholarship? Like, have you already like passed some stages? You've done your interview or something?
No, I didn't hear about the regional interview till October. By then, I think I gave up at some point. I stopped searching for a supervisor. I hadn't submitted my application. And when I got called for the regional interview, I was like, okay, this is getting real. That was when I really took you for a supervisor serious. So I got my supervisor in November, early November. I submitted my application late November. And in most cases, what is very nice about Canadian schools is that if you get a supervisor, you might even have funding before the scholarship comes. So before the scholarship comes, you are already certain that I am going to McGill University fully funded. Yes. So getting a supervisor is also, it has its advantages and disadvantages. It can be stressful, but you can get funding. So irrespective of the outcome of the scholarship, you will still be attending McGill University.
Wow. That's very nice. So you literally like you're using one stone to kill like what 3 beds or 10 beds.
3 beds.
Okay. Wow. Thank you. Okay. So you made mention of the interview. So can we go right into the interview, the regional interview? Can you remember the questions you were asked?
No, I was so tense. I honestly cannot remember. But the only one I know. The thing
What
is,
was it
like okay,
around? Okay, I'm listening.
I spent a lot of time on YouTube, learning how to introduce myself, how to talk about big things that I've done. But then when I got into the interview, none of the things I looked at on YouTube came out. I wasn't even asked to introduce myself. They just went right into the interview. And everything was focused on what I wrote in my essay. So each person's experience with the interview is totally different. They will not ask you anything outside your essay. They want to just know why you've done this thing. If you say you've been able to raise $1 billion for a project, why did you raise $1 billion? How did you raise $1 billion? Because raising that kind of money is not something you can just wake up and do. What kind of problems did you encounter while raising this $1 billion? How did you spend the money? So questions begets question in the interview. If you explain something and they feel it's not clear, they'll keep probing you. It's as if they want to know, they just want to poke into your brain and know, like, how did you do this? No, just tell us, how did you achieve this particular thing that you said you've done? So there's no template. There's really no template. Just read your essays very well. Be very familiar with every single word you put in your essay from the beginning to the end. Even the things that you think are very, very insignificant, they are not insignificant. It is those things that you feel they will not be interested in that they will ask you about, and they will want to know the details. I mean, the details to the T. And that's one thing why it's not good to lie in your essays or you lie in your resume, because by the time they start asking you questions, they will catch the lie. You can't keep up a lie when 4 people are there and they are just poking you, trying to. At some point, you feel as if, okay, these people are after me, because they will keep poking and poking and poking. The more you answer, the more they want to know more about that thing you said you've done. You can't lie. So don't lie. Don't make anything you've done look bigger than you said it is. If you've raised $1 billion, you have to explain how do you raise that $1 billion. If you said you helped 300 people get out of poverty, how did you help them get out of poverty? What are the kind of things you did to get them out of that poverty? How can they measure it? Is there a way they can confirm this? You can't lie. That's just it about the interview.
Wow. I totally understand probably the rationale behind this. Like you just said, the essays are the way that they will get to know you, and then during the interview, they want to know the person behind the essay. So I guess it's reasonable. But that's for the regional interview. There's a
Yes.
final interview after that, right?
Yes.
So what was the final interview? Was it also virtually, or was it like in person, physically go
And
there?
that's the sweet thing about the McCall MacBain Scholarship. They'll fly you to Canada. You will not pay a penny. Like,
Oh my goodness.
very serious. So for me, that was the first time I left Nigeria. It was a new experience for me. They flew me to Canada. I did not pay a penny. Even if you use your money to do some part, they will reimburse you. They will pay you back your money. So you'll be flown, your feeding, your accommodation, your flight fee, your visa, everything will be covered. And what they are telling you to come do in Canada is just come and show us what you have, what you've done. It's not for me, the final interview was more friendly than the regional interview. The regional interview was more of them poking me, trying to know why I did what I did. But for the final interview, it just felt as if I was chatting with friends. They were so eager to know about me. They were just smiling through it all. It was so fun. And everybody was so nice. From the moment you step out of the airport, you just feel that niceness. The scholars are so helpful. They want to know you. You get to mingle with other scholars. And you expect that in this kind of interview where people, supposedly brilliant people, are coming from different parts of the world, you expect everybody to come there to come and show up. Oh no, I've done this and this. No, it's as if, oh, you like books? Oh yes, I like books. Just people trying to know the basic things about you. So you like this food? Have you tried this? Have you done this? Do you want to go and see this? So it's fun. You won't feel as if you're in an interview. You just feel as if you're in a retreat among friends and they're trying to know you. So it wasn't nervous for me. I was more nervous during my regional interview compared to my final interview.
So what I want to understand from here now, if it was that friendly, how many were you people, and how did they act like? What do you think made you to be selected out of the number of people that were probably flew from Nigeria than to Canada? I don't know.
Okay, we were 88 in total, 88 finalists, and we were 2 from Nigeria. There's a way that do the grouping in such a way that in my group we're 8, and that's how they partitioned everybody. What from what I heard from them, they were just looking for the criteria. So there's no, okay, this is what you did differently to be selected. No, they were looking for those criteria. So that's why I say you have to really look at the criteria. They were looking for passion. What you say you want to do, are you really passionate about it? There's a difference between having a straight face and saying, I want to lift 10 women out of poverty, and actually convincing them that you really want to lift 10 women out of poverty. You really want to make your nation great. So passion is not something you can lie about. It's not something you can learn. It's something that people, when you are passionate about something, people can visibly see it in you. You have to convince them that you are worthy of every penny that and everything that the scholarship has to offer. So that's it for me. I don't think there was anything special I did because everybody there deserved it. Everybody was exceptional. For you to get to that final 88, then you are exceptional already. So it's not just something you did or something you said. It's just all about how you present your case and how you're able to convince the interviewers.
Wow, this is a lot. This is actually like the first time that I'll hear like final interview, flying people to the host country to have the interview. Because going through my experiences in Chevening and Commonwealth, it's always virtually and all that. But that must really be a beautiful experience, even for those that were not chosen. I'm very sure they must have had a nice time getting to
And
network.
the fun thing about the McCall MacBain Scholarship is even if you're not chosen, if you don't get the final award, you still get $20,000 towards your study in McGill. So they still give you $20,000 finalist award.
Yes, I saw it on the website. That was so generous. And there's also like a regional award, right?
Yes, for Canadians it's $5,000. For other international applicants, it's $10,000, but you can only use it to attend a public university in Canada. So you still get something. As long as you get to the regional, you will come out with something.
That's a lot. Now I
Yes.
understand why they call themselves one of the most prestigious scholarship in Canada. It's really they're giving you so much. I understand now.
Really
Okay, so
prepare because, can I go on?
of course you can.
Okay, you need to really prepare because from the initial stage, thousands of people will apply. Now, this is the first international cohort, so I believe the number of people that applied in our year will not be as much as people that apply this year. So thousands of people will submit their application, and out of those thousands, they may not select up to 300 for regional interview. So you see, you are already, for you to get to the regional interview, you've already done something very, very big. And then from that, they will select probably about 80 to 88, fly you to Canada, free of charge, just to come and talk about something you are passionate about. And then you will still get selected. Either way, you still come out with something. So it's a tough competition. So you have to put everything into this scholarship if you intend to apply.
Wow, that's a lot. Thank you. Okay, so now we have already covered most of the benefits of the scholarship where we talked about the regional, the finalist award and all that. So are there any other benefits of the scholarship? Like what makes it stand out from, because on the website, exactly, they started like saying, oh, this is like the best scholarship in Canada and all that. So what makes them stand out besides the wonderful things you've said already?
Okay. So I'll start from before you even get the award. When I was there, I met people that normally I wouldn't have met. You get to meet people, leaders. From the time you are selected to go to the finals, you'll be meeting the dean of your faculty. So that's like they will be having webinars with you. You also meet a lot of people. Once you come to Canada, you'll be meeting leaders across various like aspect of Canada. You meet just people that on a normal you can't just meet if you do not go there and if the scholarship doesn't give you that opportunity to meet them. And then when you do finally get selected, your tuition will be covered, your fees will be covered, like any other fee related to your academics will be covered. You get a living stipend of $2,000, which is more than enough to cover anything you need to survive in Canada monthly. And then you also get a moving allowance of $2,000 to cover cost of moving to Canada. Aside the financial benefits, you get like a mentor. They will assign somebody to you that will be like your mentor, and this person can be anybody, like somebody that has done something big in that thing you are passionate about. For some, you can get a leading professor in your aspect of research. Others, you can get somebody that's really big in the community. And aside the mentorship program that the scholarship offers, there's also the bi-weekly leadership sessions that you get to, it's just like a way of trying to build your leadership capabilities, where you be doing that with other scholars. And then they have some retreats that they do and certain travels that you can go to within Canada. So you will not necessarily be in only Quebec. You can have to go to travel to Toronto and it will be covered. So it's plenty. That's just what I can say. It's plenty.
Exactly, it is. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. You've covered most of the questions that we collected from our community members, and you've said a lot, like more than a lot. Just that the going through the website now and looking at the criteria and everything, we do hope that since you are the first Nigerian person there, that this year we're going to get more Nigerians. We're going to so definitely more people will be reaching out to you. And thank you very much, Farida, for accepting to be here. I'm sure Rachel had some issues with the connection because before the session we were communicating and later on she went off and all that. So thank you, Farida, for this, and we really wish you a wonderful stay in Canada. We hope you enjoy every single moment, and
On the
we'll
go.
be in touch. We'll be following your progress, your successes, your posts on LinkedIn. Definitely, people should connect with her on LinkedIn. Follow her. Thank you very much.
The question I need to answer on the chat.
Okay.
Somebody was asking if there's any requirements for international passport in the application process. Not really, but you will be needing your international passport if you get to the regionals and finally to the final level, because you'll be traveling to Canada. So you don't want to wait till the last minute. You might feel, okay, I will not get selected, and then you just relax on the passport thing. And then when you do finally get selected, you miss the opportunity because you did not apply for your passport early. You get my point? So you need to, if you want to go for this scholarship, you need to get everything. You need to have that mindset that I'm going to get selected, not just get into the finals. I will be selected. So get everything ready, your international passports. You should get everything sorted out now if you want to apply.
Yeah, that's the winning mindset. It's almost similar to what you said about to the quotes, Michelle Obama's quote that you made earlier on. Thank
So
you
yeah.
very much. So any questions?
Is there any other question? I think minimum CGPA, I said it already, 3.0 or 3.2 over 4, not over 5, over 4. So you need to do the conversion if your school uses the 5-point CGPA to know if you're eligible to apply.
Okay, yeah, thank you. From my end, I've asked most of the questions that were brought to me by our community member. Thank you. So, we're uploading the videos on our YouTube channel for you to listen to Farida again in case you need some heads up and just to go through the whole process with her again. I wish everyone success. Thumbs up to everyone that is here already.
And
Thank you.
sorry, one last thing. In case you need to see the questions that you might be asked, since I cannot remember them properly, you can check out you can check on YouTube. Just type McCall MacBain Scholarship. I think a video by Victor has the particular questions that you be asked. He made like a video of him trying to apply for the scholarship. So you definitely see the questions you will be asked. So you can start writing your essay before the scholarship starts. And then you can also watch some videos of the scholars. They discussed the scholarship itself and the interview. It really helped me during my application, because some of the things that came out, I also experienced it during the scholarship. So just watch those 2 videos. It will really help you. And if you need motivation to apply for the scholarship, just go to their page and see scholars. Scholars are not superhumans. It's not as if we've done something too big like that. We are normal humans, but we didn't give up on what we wanted to achieve. We just, unlike others that gave up, we didn't give up and we applied and we had hope that we can get the scholarship, and we did it till the end until we got the scholarship. So don't give up. Use the page as a motivation. Even if you read some of the things that we've done, you see that, okay, I feel I've done more than this. So if you feel you've done more than this, or you feel you can achieve up to this, then apply. And the sweet thing about the scholarship is they are not looking for what you've done majorly. They are looking for what you can do. Do you have that potential in the future to be somebody worth investing in? If you feel you have that potential to be worth investing in, then apply. The worst that can happen is a no. But if you do not apply, you will not know whether you get a yes or a no. So apply.
Thank you very much for your kind words. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
So that will be the end for now. Bye bye, everyone.
Have a lovely day. Thank you for hosting me.
Thank you for coming. Bye bye.
Bye.